What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Yash. How is everyone doing today? Let me just do a little mic check and make sure everyone can hear me. So, guys, if you are in the chat right now, drop a thumbs up or just say that you can hear and see me. I just want to make sure that everyone can again hear and see me before I go ahead with this live stream. So, how is everyone doing today? Cool. So let's give it a few more minutes. I am a little bit early. Again, I just wanted to make sure, everyone can hear and see me. So, Chris, how's it going, my man? I always see you showing some love to my YouTube videos. I do appreciate that. Chris, just let me know if you can hear and see me, buddy. Just drop a thumbs up or just let me know, my man. Can you hear and see me loud and clear? Let's give it a few more minutes. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, guys, let's give it a few more minutes. Last live stream, I actually had a whole bunch of questions that I never really got to. So maybe I can get to a few questions in the beginning or maybe at the end. Let's see how the live really plays out, because I do want to prioritize your guys' questions that are coming in live first and foremost. So depending on how the turnout is, I'll maybe go over some of these questions from last live stream, which, by the way, was a great turnout. So yeah, let's see how things turn out. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 really good questions that I chose myself. So yeah, let's see how the turnout is, and then we'll go from there. Awesome. So we're getting a few people in. And guys, do me a favor. If you guys have not dropped a like on this live stream, do me a favor, do it for the YouTube algorithm and drop a like on this live stream so it can reach more people. Awesome, guys. Where's everyone from, by the way? We'll get started in just a few minutes. I just want to make sure that, people are on, but where is everyone from? Comment in the chat below. I'm in New Jersey right now at my parents' house. Where is everyone from? Malaysia. Awesome. I have a client. I actually have 2 clients right now from Malaysia. So that's awesome. I also have a friend from Malaysia as well. Chicago. Chicago's awesome. I've been there once. Their deep dish pizza is really good. Toronto, T.A the 6. That's awesome, man. Toronto's really nice. I've been there once. Mexico's nice. I've been to Cancun, Tulum. I've been to a few places in Mexico. That's awesome. Definitely a great vacation spot. India, that's awesome. Cool, guys. So thank you guys for coming in. I'm pretty sure we'll have more people tune in very soon. So I know there's some of you guys on now. So I was just saying that I do have a few questions lined up right here from the past live stream that I didn't get to answer. So, I'll maybe get to those later on. I do want to prioritize your guys' questions first and foremost while you guys are on the live, okay? Yo, what's up, my man? Thanks for tuning in. So, yeah, guys, this is just a live Q&A. I decided to have this on a Sunday because I thought, this would be a good way for people, since it's not a weekday, to really tune in and spend some time, obtain some value, really. So, I do want to talk about Q4, but I also want to address your guys' main concerns because, I want to make sure you guys are prepped for Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend, which is basically exactly a month away. Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend is exactly a month away, guys, okay? So, get ready to make some money. All the way to Kenya. Awesome, dude. Kenya's cool. I have a few friends from Kenya too. Anyway, guys, let's get into this Q&A and let's get the ball rolling. Let's get some questions going up here. So yeah, guys, feel free to just drop your questions, thoughts, concerns, and I'm gonna go through them in order. Our CPM and CPC going down after election. So personally, myself, I haven't really seen high CPMs. Usually you want your CPMs under $1. Sometimes for some products they're a little bit over $1, maybe like $1.50, $1.70. But for the most part, CPCs have not been a huge issue. Some clients of mine have been seeing high CPCs, but I think, it may be a few things, right? It may be the product, or it may be the audience itself, meaning the actual interest. So that can lead to high CPCs. CPMs, yeah, CPMs are a huge issue right now. Again, I haven't been seeing super high CPMs. You want it between like the $20 or $15 to $30 range. Obviously, the lower the better. Sometimes a higher CPM does mean a higher quality of traffic, but obviously you don't want it to be like, $40, $50, $60. So yeah, hopefully from, when the election is over and onwards, I think CPMs will go down. So, fingers crossed. You just have to push through as, a Facebook advertiser. So, but yeah, I personally think CPC and CPM especially will go down. Is kids toy a good niche? Yes, kids toy is a good niche for Q4 especially. I would say gifts is also a really good niche. Like kids is obviously kind of fitted into gifts or gifts, but really specifically products that you can give to kids as a gift or even adults as a gift. That's a really good niche. Any evergreen product is really a good niche too, specifically home improvement, personal and self-care. People are always investing into their bodies per se. And then also like, kitchenware that kind of falls into home improvement, and makeup and beauty is a very good niche too. So yeah, that's what kind of I would be focusing on. And also like seasonal and winter products. That's a pretty good niche to focus on too, especially as we're, getting into the colder months now. So winter and seasonal products are absolutely good. I'm actually testing a few winter products right now. So Nick, what's up, my man? Nick, you're the man, bro. Thanks for tuning in. Yash, no add to cart after $10. Spend for multiple ad sets. Do you think it's a website problem or product price is too high? It really depends, man, what your product price is. Sometimes a $10 add to cart is okay if it's like a more of a mid-ticket item. If it's like a lower ticket item, you want that between $4 to $7. So it could be your offer, it could be your pricing, it could be your landing page, it could really be a whole bunch of things why that cost per add to cart is so high, or let alone having no add to carts after spending $10 or more. So it could be a bunch of those things, I would say. Yo, what's up, Atish? With if testing with CBO using ABO at the same time for different or same interests, has that of CBO affect the latter's performance? So yeah, I mean, you can test your product with CBO or ABO. I kind of, grew more comfortable into utilizing CBO. My rule of thumb is that if your product selling price is $30 or less, more on the lower ticket side, that's considered more of an impulse buy, right? Which means you may possibly getting a lower cost per purchase or a lower cost per acquisition / customer. And if you're willing to spend $100 a day or more, then CBO is fine. If your product is $30 or more, you can use ABO at $10 ad sets or maybe $7 ad sets. I would stay away from $5 ad sets just because the bidding war is so high on Facebook. And if it's $30 or more, you can still utilize CBO. All I do is I set per ad set a $5 minimum spend. So that means each ad set has to spend in that CBO at least $5. So that's what you can do. But you can absolutely test it both ways, CBO and ABO. There's no really right or wrong. It just depends on the product, what you're comfortable with, what you have been getting results with, and more so kind of the pricing of the product, like I was saying. So yeah, that's my input on that. My personal ad account is restricted, so all of my accounts and my business manager is no longer useful. Don't worry, man. The same thing happened to me a few days ago. I had like 2 business manager bans, 4 ad account bans, and then the day after, my personal ad account got banned from just using Facebook ads. What I would suggest is using another Facebook profile. Maybe go to a family, a friend, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, use someone else's Facebook account, use a new domain, use a different payment method, because that payment method is probably flagged now on one of those ad accounts or business managers on your old profile. You can also go ahead and buy verified and seasoned and aged business managers. They are a little bit expensive. I just bought a few at $1,000 each. So it really depends on what budget you have. But I think the best course of action would be to use another Facebook profile. Family member, friend, ask around. After $5 spend, I look at CPC and CPM. At 10, I look for add to cart, and until 20, I look for purchase, $5 or $10 ad sets. So my rule of thumb is, in general, I don't look at any of my data, any of my metrics until the second day is over, if you're spending $100 or more per day. If you're spending anything less than $100 per day, then you want to give it at least 3 days, 72 hours to optimize, because it's in this learning phase and Facebook has to find your potential audience, right? So $100 or more, give it 2 days. $100 or less, give it 2 days to optimize, okay? And then I pretty much look for ad sets with a CPC higher than $1. If it has a CPC higher than $1, then you want to basically cut that ad set off unless it has a sale on it. Other than that, any ad sets that don't have any add to carts or initiate checkouts after that second or third day mark, depending on the budget you are spending per day, you want to go ahead and turn those ad sets off as well. So, I know a lot of people get impatient looking at their metrics and turning this off, turning that off, but you have to be patient those first 2 or 3 days, because Facebook is learning, Facebook is optimizing, especially if you have somewhat of a new ad account and new pixel. So you have to give it time to optimize, guys. Hey, Yash, it's Harpreet. I'm at work watching it secretly. Awesome, man. I love it, bro. Much respect for you. Always obtain value. Be obsessed to learning in this game, and that's how you will win. Keep investing into yourself. By the way, Harpreet is, one of my one-on-one coaching students. So big shout out to you, brother, man. Can you explain how to email market? What are some good strategies? Yeah, so you can use Klaviyo or Abandonment Protector. I highly recommend having abandonment cart email sequences. Not only do you want to maximize your front end revenue through Instagram, Facebook, Google, but you also want to maximize your back end revenue. So I usually have 3 abandonment cart email sequences set up, and I actually have a whole video about this on my channel if you can find it, or you should be able to find it. Just type in my name on YouTube and then type in abandonment cart email sequence. But so I basically show you my whole script and stuff, but I usually have 1 email send out at 2 hours, 1 at 10 hours, and 1 at 24 hours. And then I also have some post-purchase email sequences set up too. So you can use Abandonment Protector, or you can use Klaviyo. Klaviyo is a little bit more versatile in terms of sending other email marketing campaigns out and whatnot. But yeah, email marketing is very important. I actually have an email list of 30,000 people. And I usually, and this for one of my main stores, I usually get a few $1,000s in profit per month just from sending emails a few times a month. So it's very powerful if you utilize it the right way. Just curious, someone making 7 to 10 orders a day, how much orders could he expect in Black Friday? Just throw some number. It really depends, bro. You could be getting 30 orders a day. You could be getting 300 orders a day. There's really no limit. I mean, Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend is a month away, right? I've scaled the store from 0 to almost $6,000 a day in about 7 or 8 days. And it was getting 200 or 300 orders a day, maybe even 350 or 400 orders per day, depending on how aggressively you're spending. So again, there's no really limit on there. You could be, for all I know, doing 500-600 orders a day. So it's really dependent on how your metrics are looking right now, how your product is performing, how aggressively you're going to scale. It really depends on a whole bunch of factors there. Hey Yash, what to do when you get a sale, how to fulfill it? So I think you're a beginner, which is fine, but you fulfill through a supplier. So you can find a supplier on CJ Dropshipping, Udroppy, Sourcing Box, Aprolo. Do not use AliExpress because ePacket is almost dead. So you basically fulfill it through a supplier and make sure it gets shipped out, get the tracking info and whatnot. So yeah. Thanks. Yeah, of course. I like to work on German markets. Is that fine? Yeah, I see a lot of people flying to Germany, Dutch. Those European markets are very profitable if you know what you're doing. You obviously have to have your website in like German or that language that you're selling to. So yeah, I think that's very much possible. I know a lot of people selling to markets abroad, especially European markets. Those top tier European countries are very profitable, and they have very active online spenders / shoppers. Do you stop your ads now after Facebook banned your ad accounts? I'm facing the same issue last 7 days. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. Yeah, bro. Mark, a lot of people are facing this issue, but it's not only you. I'm in a group chat. I'm in multiple group chats with 6, 7, and 8-figure dropshippers. And trust me, bro, it's not only you. I know people who are running white label and private label companies that are getting stuff banned, left and right. So you just have to keep on pushing. If you want to be safe, I would wait till November 3rd, after the election ends in the US. But yeah, it sucks because it's terrible timing. But I would try and make a new business manager or get another profile of a family or friend. Someone was asking me this before too, and that's what I recommend. Get another profile, run ads on it, change your payment method, change your domain. And yeah, man, you just have to keep on pushing, bro. I know it's absolutely terrible and it sucks ass. Trust me. Of course, honey, my man. Always, always, always love these lives. So yeah, man, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all the support, bro. Where can I find upsells and downsells or cross-sells for my product? It really depends, right? You can really find them anywhere. There's pre-checkout cross-sells. Pre-checkout cross-sells are basically items you present to your potential customer upfront. So for example, if you buy an iPhone from Apple, they're going to pre-checkout cross-sell you a charging dock or an iPhone case or a screen protector. These are items most likely lower ticket than the main item that go hand in hand or relate or correlate or resonate with that main product. So the screen protector, the charging dock, and the phone case all are useful and all correlate with that iPhone you're going to be buying, right? So that's the kind of nature and criteria or characteristic of products or product that you want to look out for when you're setting up or when you're looking into pre-checkout cross-sells. You can also have post-purchase upsells, depending on the type of store you have. One product store, I usually don't do post-purchase upsells, but for general niche and niche stores, I do post-purchase upsells where you can basically present them with other items in that same collection. So if you're basically having like an outdoor product, like a fishing product, you can post-purchase upsell them with like other fishing products. In-cart is really good. A sweet upsell is really good. A candy rack is really good. Bold upsell is really good. All these apps have different features and different pros and cons, but those 3 or 4 are the ones I recommend. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying this live stream so far, go ahead and drop a like on this video. Do me a favor so it helps the YouTube algorithm out. Do you use AdSpy? How do you use it to find a good product? How do you set it to find a good product? I use AdSpy here and there. I don't really solely depend on like any specific software or tool, just because there's so many people on it, and at the end of the day, like, you're not really getting an advantage because there's so many people on there, right? So I think product research and validation is very important, and the main thing is to be self-reliant or self-sufficient, right? So AdSpy is good too, and the settings I usually mess around with are the daily likes it's basically getting, because the engagement on an ad is very important, right? That's what Facebook favors. So that's how I use AdSpy, but I don't like to become dependent on it, okay? Awesome, guys. Getting a bunch of questions. I'm going to get to all of them. I'm just going in order. Dropped the budget last night, got another sale. We are on break-even point. See how it goes at the end of the day. All right, Harpreet, let me know. Again, Harpreet is one of my one-on-one coaching students, so that's awesome, bro. Do you turn on advanced matching on Pixel? Yes, I do. Automatic advanced matching. It is a new feature, or relatively new feature, and yes, I do turn it on, so make sure it is on. What about educational kids and baby products? Yes, kids products, baby products, toddlers, all that is really good to sell during Q4, especially because a lot of kids are homeschooled nowadays. So kids products, educational products, they're really, really good. Parents are always actively seeking to buy those products for their kids and whatnot. So yeah, they're really good to sell during Q4 and even onwards potentially. Do you suggest running an engagement campaign for social proof? You can run a $5 tier 1 country or worldwide engagement campaign at $5 or $10 a day. I usually don't, because my belief is if the ad is good, it's going to get engagement. It's going to get likes, shares, comments anyway, and Facebook will pick that up inevitably. So I usually don't, but you can maybe if you want, or if you want to just boost the engagement up, you can run a $5 or $10 engagement campaign, but I usually don't really feel like there's a need to do that. So yeah, it's more like 20% yes, 80% no for me. How do you scale CBOs? Well, one really simple way is just vertically scaling, meaning increasing the budget. So usually if I have a CBO at $100 a day and I see it's working well for 2 or 3 days, I'll basically edit the ad set, or sorry, edit the campaign, and I'll just raise the budget. I'll usually double the budget or raise it by 50 or 75% every 2 to 4 days. I personally like to scale slow and then go aggressively afterwards. After it's spending 200 or 300 a day, then I like to do, pretty aggressive scaling. I've had a campaign where I've taken it from $300 a day to $1,000 a day before at CBO. So that's one way to, scale a CBO campaign. Do you get your videos made from Fiverr or do you make them yourself? No, I actually do use a company called Ecom Creations. Sorry guys, I'm not sure if I was gone, but I have a company called Ecom Creations. I'll drop the link down below in the chat, and you can use my code Yash10, Yash10 for 10% off. They're really, really good. I'm an affiliate for them, but it's because I really like, their turnaround time. I really like their work and the effort they put into their videos. I get affiliate offers from like banned off ads or viral ecom videos all the time. You've probably heard of them, maybe even used a few of them, but I really, said no to all of them because I'm really comfortable with Ecom Creations. I like what they have to offer. So yeah, use Ecom Creations. You can use my code Yash10 for 10% off. Hi, Mr. Yash. What's up, bro? Is it okay to start selling winter products wait, what? Oh, okay. Yes, it is. Yes, it is absolutely okay to start selling winter products, my man. Get on it early. There's a lot of people already selling winter and seasonal products. So yes, definitely get on that. And people usually buy winter products till January, February. So you can definitely ride out that momentum if you find a winning winner, a winning winter or seasonal product. You can ride out that momentum till about January or February. So yeah. Do you personally ever use Sourcing Box? I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it. Yes, I have used it for one store over the summer. I like Sourcing Box. I like CJ Dropshipping. I like UDroppy. And I also like a Prolo as well. EPROLO. It sounds like Oberlo, but a Prolo. What's a good app for pre-checkout cross-sells? I like Candy Rack and Bold Upsell. Those are my go-to. And InCart is really good too. That's a new one I've been starting to use, InCart. One of my ad accounts got hacked. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. And they spent $600, so it's disabled. Has this ever happened to you? Should I just make a new ad account? Well, first and foremost, I would try and get that money back from Facebook. They should give it back to you if you submit a support ticket or chat with them. I know not all profiles have the ability to chat with Facebook support, but I would try and chat with them and see if you can get that refunded. But yeah, I would just make a new ad account depending on what the initial reason is that it got disabled for in that same business manager or different business manager. It just really depends on what that reason is as to why it got disabled. My man, Yash, David. What's up, David? Is Debutify a good theme? I think it's pretty decent. I know the creator / owner of Debutify, my friend Ricky. I think it's a good theme. I just think it's a little bit overused. It's a little bit overplayed out. I recommend using professional paid themes because they're more customizable. They come pre-installed with a lot of apps and widgets, a lot of add-ons that frankly save you a lot of time and money in the long run. And they're just more professional. They have more to offer. And I personally focus on micro branding a lot. So I personally only use paid themes. Some of my favorite paid themes are Booster, Turbo, Pipeline, Illumis, District, Prestige, Motion. Those are personally all of my favorite paid themes. So yeah, Debutify is good, but I just see so many people using them. I think it's getting a little played out. Every other dropshipping store is on the Debutify theme. Is it okay to test at this point or time, or wait until November 3rd? Would you be better options? Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, Facebook is really sensitive, but it really depends. I mean, I know people out there who are making money who are just pushing through. So as long as you have like preventive measures in place, um, it just kind of really depends, right? It just really depends. I mean, November 3rd is like almost a week away. So you can wait a week, but if you think about it, there's still no guarantee. There's still no promise how sensitive, right? How sensitive Facebook is going to be even after that. So um, it just really, really depends, guys. Let me make this brightness a little bit lower. So yeah, quite frankly, it just really depends. Never mind. I actually like how the brightness was before. It just really depends. I think I said that like 4 times, but yeah, it depends. How do you make a good ad copy? I have a video on how to make a really banging ass ad copy that converts on my channel. I definitely recommend watching that. But usually I have like some sort of hook that addresses the problem or the situation, and it goes to talk about the actual product. Maybe you can have some bullet points, and then I like to have some sort of call to action, like limited time sale, get yours here, grab yours here, 50% off only. And then I usually have like a bit.ly link, a custom bit.ly link to your landing page. So that's kind of the basic structure of it, but I do have a video on that on my channel. So I recommend checking it out. There's a lot of value in there, and I also show some of my winning ad copies from previous stores and products. What do you do if you scale CBO and your ROAS goes down? If you scale your CBO and your ROAS goes down, first and foremost, you want to make sure you're letting that CBO run for 2 to 3 days. You know, just because your ROAS is down for 2 days, it may pick back up the 3rd day. You never want to judge your campaigns, let alone your metrics and data points, based on 1 day. You know, you always want to have a collective view on there. But you can do a few things. I like to maybe sometimes, you know, scale the budget down 25 to 30%. You can also duplicate that CBO and launch it again at a little bit of a lower budget and see how it performs. Sometimes it just really has to reset the audience. So it really depends. But if it's a winning product, you should be really able to scale that CBO. I mean, I've had CBOs running at like $1,500 to $1,800 a day before. So, but those 2 things are actions that you can implement if that ROAS does go down. Nonetheless, make sure you judge it after 2 or 3 days, and only if it's, you know, dropping below that break-even point ROAS is when you want to do something. So how do I live chat Facebook? Good questions. Like I said before, some profiles have the access point to them. Some Facebook profiles don't. I thankfully do. I think it's based on how much you're spending. Like, I think if you exceed or meet a certain threshold on Facebook ads in terms of how much money you've spent, then you have access to it. So it just really depends. It's really, really, really random. More than likely on new profiles, it's not going to be available. So just go into Google, type in, you know, Facebook Live support chat, and it should be the 1st or 2nd link. If you have it, great. If not, it kind of sucks. But I also have a video on that too. Yes, Turbo is a good theme. Turbo is a better theme for multi-product stores such as niche or general niche stores. I usually don't use Turbo theme for 1 product stores, and I primarily, like 85 to 90% of the time, do 1 product stores. Do you still use Shopify payments and PayPal? How do you avoid holds? Yes, I do use Shopify payments. Thankfully, knock on wood, I haven't had any payment holds on Shopify payments or through Shopify payments. On PayPal, I currently have like $30,000 on hold. And I personally just still offer PayPal. I think it's just kind of having that conveniency for your customers in terms of choosing, you know, both Stripe and PayPal. I've had people who have turned off PayPal and said that it hasn't really affected their conversion rate. I've had people who have turned off PayPal on their store and said their conversion rate went down by like 1.52%. So I still have it on, meaning enabled, PayPal enabled, and I recommend having a business PayPal account. You also want to have some transaction history going on that PayPal account to warm it up and build trust with PayPal. And if you do have a lot of funds coming in, or right before you start to scale, at least, you want to try and call PayPal and see if you can get that limit up in terms of how much you can transfer into your bank account. So that's really the only way. But once you start scaling past $2,000 or $3,000, maybe like $3,000 a day, it's kind of inevitable, unfortunately, that you're gonna start having PayPal holds. But at the same time, like, I have a few buddies in the space who have had like $200,000 a month seamlessly go through PayPal without any issues. So I think it really depends on your product, making sure like you have good backend systems, no customer complaints and stuff not, and just really kind of keeping PayPal updated. They have to know that you're going to be getting a lot of funds into your PayPal. So yeah. I take stuff from different competitors' websites and put it on my website. So I wouldn't really go in and copy, because that's like the easy way out. That's just you being lazy. And just because something's working for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So I would definitely, again, it's just becoming self-reliant and self-sufficient, holding yourself accountable to learning these skills and implementing them into action. So yes, you can take like different bits and pieces, like the pictures, how they have their description set up, but always add your own touch and own twist to it. Because your website the best, or your product the best, and your customers the best, right? Even though if it's the same product. So never just copy word from word. I don't really believe in that. I don't think it's ethical, but it's not wrong doing competitive analysis. And again, taking bits and pieces. If this one or two websites that you're on has like really good product images and you want to take a few product images, yeah, go for it. But don't just copy their description and paste them. I've had actually someone do that, and they actually realized, or they didn't realize, that the description they copied mentioned the other store's name like 7 or 8 times, and obviously his store name was completely different, right? So it just threw customers off. So little things like that, it's just really not worth to do, both short term and long term. So do you have an LLC? Yes, I had an LLC. I transitioned into an S corp just because it makes sense for my business structure. Trading VAs is not really hard. It's kind of annoying, or it can be tough going through them, interviewing them and stuff not, but I would definitely interview them, make sure you're following up with them, know someone that knows English, who's fluent in English and whatnot. So it's not too hard, but it's something that you have to do as a business owner, right? You have to put a little bit of your time and energy making sure that VA or VAs is basically on board in your business. So I've been testing a few products, and I think I got a winner. I was just running a CBO, $100 product cost is about $57, and I think a good ROAS. But I ran out of cash flow and had to. Oh man, well that's good. You had a winner, but yeah, cash flow is super important, guys. When you're scaling, because you have to pay for Facebook ads, and you have to fulfill those products, right? And you're gonna have like little itty bitty expenses here and there, but obviously paying for advertising and COGS is the main thing, and cash flow is very important. I think Shopify has some sort of funding options, so maybe you can check that out and see if they can give you a little bit of money. I think it's at a 0% interest rate, or a really, really, really low monthly interest rate. And I think how they do is they take a certain amount of money out from your payouts every single week. So I would try and get that Shopify funding. Just Google like Shopify funding and you'll find that. So now I'm afraid it won't optimize if I turn back on. What would you advise? I mean, the best way to find out is to try it, try it, turn it back on, maybe lower the budget, let it run for 2 days. This is when I was spending like also $2,000 or $3,000 a day on ads, but I've had ads because my ad account got disabled. I've had ads that were running for like 4 or 5 weeks, turn off for 2 or 3 days. And then when I turned them back on, they picked up the second day. So I would just go ahead and try. I mean, it doesn't really hurt. Do you have any CBO strategies that work really well? What's your lookalike strategy? So with lookalikes, let me answer that first. After interests, I usually move to 75% lookalikes, 95% lookalikes, website visitors, visitors by time spent. And then once I have like 250 to 500 of these following events, I do add to cart, add payment info, initiate checkout, and purchase lookalike or custom audiences. So yeah. Do you have any CBO strategies that work really well? Yeah, there's a few. So I always like editing the budget and increasing it. Um, I also like putting all my best performing ad sets on a weekly basis in a CBO. What I also like to do, and this is like a new strategy, well, there's two new strategies, is once you have a few hundred purchases on your store, your pixel is going to start to get smarter. Your ad account's going to start to get seasoned and nurtured. Um, and Facebook's going to be able to really hone down on your product, or sorry, on your customers, I would say. So I would try this. I would have a $100 CBO, one CBO, three ad sets. Okay, one ad set only US, one ad set, the second ad set, big five countries. US, UK, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, and one ad set worldwide. Okay, so do that CBO, those three different countries or those three different types of countries. And you want to open no targeting. So the US will be open no targeting. The top five countries will be open no targeting. The third ad set worldwide will be open no targeting. And set the CBO at $100 a day. It usually has worked really well for me, but you have to have a few hundred purchases. That's really good. And the second strategy, just really quickly, is like let's say you have two really good ad sets. They can be from different campaigns or even the same campaign that have a really high consistent ROAS, keyword consistent, and have been getting you the most sales. Let's say it's dog and cat. Okay, the first ad set's dog, the second ad set is cat. You can put dog into, or you can basically duplicate dog 5 times, put into a CBO. So you'll have dog, 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 dog. And you can do the same thing with cat. So now you'll have cat, 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 cat in that same CBO. So you'll have 5 dog ad sets and 5 cat ad sets into a same CBO at $100 a day. And those 2 ad sets, mind you, are your best performing key ad sets or your key interests. So that has been working really well for me, and you can rinse and repeat that. If I have CPM, should I still wait 3 days to cover? Should I have a day? So if you have really high CPMs, you can try and change like your interests, but more so try and change like your scroll stopper or your ad copy. That's what I would recommend if you have really high CPMs. If not, it's just Facebook. It's just the current stance Facebook is in right now. So how do you test new CBO audiences? Do you create a new CBO or add in new ad sets in the new CBO in the same campaigns? That's a good question. I get it a lot. I know people who add in the same CBO. I don't believe doing that because I believe the new ad sets will overpower the current well-performing ad sets in that original CBO. So if you have like good performing ad sets in the CBO, and if you want to test new interest, that's called horizontal scaling. You want to test new, similar, and alike interests. I put them into a new CBO campaign. Treat that new CBO campaign like a brand new campaign. Okay, so I put them into a new one because I don't want them to overpower the current one in that original CBO. Unless you're using ABO, then you can go ahead and put those new interests or new ad sets in that ABO campaign. So yeah, new one, always new one. How do you introduce new creative? Do you duplicate new ad or introduce into an existing one? Does it de-optimize the ads? So if I'm using CBO, which most of the time I do, I don't introduce it into the new one. Like if I have a really good ad set and really good creative that's getting high CTR, good engagement, all that stuff, a lot of watch time, I don't want to introduce it into the same ad set. So I basically duplicate it and replace it with the new interest. That's really all I do. So it's not that hard. It's like you're making a new testing campaign, but the creative is different. That's really all you do, right? And gradually, as the original ad dies out, hopefully the new ad will be overpowering that original one. So you can basically scale up that way. And Facebook does like, when you introduce new CBOs and whatnot. So yeah, great question. I like that one. How do you revive an old winner? Change the marketing angle, change the offer, play around with the pricing, maybe lower it $5 or $10. Sometimes you can revive it, sometimes you can't. This really depends on how much market awareness and how much market reach there is for that given product. Right now, it might be super untapped. In March, it may already be in a lot of retail stores, which means it's going to be hard to revive that, let alone there's going to be a lot of other advertisers who are scaling it or who have scaled it already. So yeah, it just really depends. But Those are the few things I would tweak if you want to try and revive that old winning product. Great questions, guys, so far. I really appreciate this. Let me drink some water. Got to stay hydrated. Some people also duplicate and double at budget of CBO. Yes, you can do that. I just think Facebook has gotten really smart at figuring out like your audience. You got to understand this, right? When you're duplicating an ad set or a CBO, there's like a mosquito. I don't even know what that was, but pardon me. When you're duplicating an ad set or a CBO, you got to realize this. Yeah, all the settings are going to carry over, but at the same time, a new ad set or a new campaign does not have the same DNA as that original ad set or campaign. The settings carry over, but every ad set, every CBO has a different personality, a different character, a different DNA. That's why sometimes when you're doing an ABO campaign and you have an ad set that's working really well and you duplicate it, let's say you have dog and let's say you have dog at $10 a day and you do dog one or dog duplicate one at $20 a day. Sometimes that duplicated one won't work. Okay. So in that case, you would just edit and increase the budget of that original dog ad set, and it will continue to spit back a good ROAS. So that's the same thing how I look at CBO campaigns. Like, yes, you can double it and increase the budget, or double it at the same budget and see how it performs, then increase it after 24 to 48 hours. But it may or may not perform well, So that's why I usually stick to, with CBOs, editing and increasing budgets. How many orders do you look for on AliExpress? Usually 3,000 to 4,000 orders at the highest supplier. No more than that. It used to be like 5,000, 6,000, but I think 3,000 or 4,000 is a little bit safer to play. Obviously, you don't want to rely on the number of orders. That's not how you validate. That's only one factor, only one resource. But yeah, that's a good question too. About 3,000 or 4,000. Drop point is okay. I've heard some okay things about it. I personally have never really used it. I've used it like a few times, but I don't anymore. Opinion on, sorry, Mark, I didn't see your question there. Opinion on selling gym equipment during Q4. If so, any products you think I did have 30K during lockdown? Oh man, that's awesome, bro. 30K during lockdown. That's cool. My personal opinion is that gym products, fitness products are good. There's kind of two sides to that. A lot of people say that those kind of products work well like the beginning of January, because like people are pumped into working out, then New Year's resolution and whatnot. But it would also make sense, right? This is the other side of the spectrum, or the other point I was talking to you about, that you want to also sell those products now, because people can give those as gifts to other people or to themselves. And right when that January 1st or 2nd hits, people can start using that product. So I think fitness and wellness is good. You just have to be very unique, and the product has to be very unique, and it has to make sense for people to buy. Because think about it, a lot of gyms are opening up too with limited capacity. Yeah, a lot of people are not going to gyms, but that's another factor. A lot of people just don't care. And a lot of people have bought fitness products for themselves between February to June. Like, a lot of people capitalize on fitness products. So it's a little bit of a tricky sell, or a tricky niche to sell in, I would say, but it can still sell. I know some private label companies killing it with fitness products, but again, those are also private label companies. So I'm a little bit on the edge. Definitely not like my go-to niche for Q4, but there's still a market for it. Just take in consideration of those two things I pointed out. Do you kill an ad set if unprofitable in the last 3 days? Yeah, if it's unprofitable for 3 days, you also want to look at it in 2 days. So if it's unprofitable for 3 days, profitable for past 2 days, then you want to give it another 24 hours. Just edit the ad set name dog/24 hours. So you know to look at it 24 hours from then, or from now. And then the next day, if you look at it, and if that ad set is unprofitable for a 3-day time frame and a 2-day time frame, then you want to go ahead and kill that ad set. So you want to give it 24 hours just to be safe. Okay. You want to look at it in a 2 and 3 day time frame. What price point product do you prefer, low ticket, mid ticket, or high ticket items? And why so in relation to your advertising budget? Honestly speaking, like not to brag or not to show off, my advertising budget's pretty much like limitless. Not obviously like millions of dollars, but I can go ahead and have the funds or the capital and the cash flow for any price point of a product. I just prefer to stay in the lower ticket niche, maybe a little bit into the mid ticket niche or mid ticket price point. I apologize. Usually I like to sell products between the selling price that's between $15 to $35. And then sometimes, especially during this time of the year, I'll sell products between like $30 and $65. So that's kind of where I like to stay from or stay in between. More so lower ticket because Facebook and Instagram are forms of interruptive marketing. So a lot of people are buying, products because of their impulse. So that's why I like to really stick to 15 products that you can sell between 15 and $35. So that's kind of just my take on it and my personal preference. I know a lot of people killing it with solely mid or high ticket. I know high ticket does very well on Google because it's more intent based. High ticket is a little bit harder on Facebook, believe it or not. Yeah, Mark, hope that helped, my man. The Martian. Hi from France. France is awesome, bro. Bonjour. I've been to France in 2018, Paris specifically. That's awesome, bro. I'm starting the live from the beginning. Awesome, bro. Yeah, go for it. This will obviously also be for replay, so yeah. Should I slowly increase price of a product and look at a 3-day span if it's better? So I usually only increase the price of my product once. I always like pricing the product a little bit lower, meaning if it has the potential to sell at $39.95 or $39.99, whatever it really may be. By the way, I usually price my products at $39.97 or $39.95, for example. That's 7 and 5. This usually just works better in sales than the 99. That's just like it just makes people feel like they're spending less. So that's just a quick like sales pricing structure slash strategy tip. But if it has a potential to sell at 39, I'll start it by selling at 29 or 34. And then if it's giving me a consistent, good, profitable ROAS over like a week, I'll go ahead and increase it to like 39, for example. So yeah, that's not a bad thing to do. You can start lower because you want to establish some sort of proof of concept at first, right? And then go ahead and increase it as long as it makes sense as to, or in terms of the perceived value of that product, right? When doing a lookalike audience for add to cart excluding a purchase, how many days should I go back? Also, how many ads should I make? I think one ad is okay. You can do 2, but one ad is okay. You can do dynamic, like DPAs. You can do a carousel. You can do a single image. You can do another type of video. Change your ad copy up. Do a testimonial. Do it like offering a discount code. You can do a whole bunch of things when you're like doing retargeting ads. I usually only stick to one ad, and I do pass 180 days for all lookalikes and for retargeting. 180 days. When is the best time to run lookalikes? I have 110 orders combined in 2 products of that same niche. Is it a good idea to run LLAs on this data? How do you go about this? So my usual rule of thumb is that you only want to create lookalikes and retargeting if your interests are profitable. Like if your cold audience is profitable somewhat, then you want to go into lookalikes and retargeting. If my cold audience isn't profitable, or if my product isn't profitable just by running and targeting cold audiences, it's not going to be a winning product. So there's no point of even retargeting and whatnot. But assuming like it is, usually when I have 50,000 video views, I do 75% lookalikes and 95% lookalikes. I usually don't do 25% lookalikes or 25% video watcher lookalikes and 10-second video watcher lookalikes. I only stick to 75% video watchers and 95% video watchers. And then if you go into your events manager and you see that you have 3.5K view contents, you can do website visitors, custom audience, or lookalikes, and also a visitors by time spent. That one works really well for me. So you can start with those 4 custom audiences: 75, 95, visitors by time spent, and view content. Should I slowly increase? Oh, I think I answered that. Yeah, I increased the question about, increasing the price of your product. Do you do past 7 days? I've heard some people do past 7 days. Honestly, bro, I do past 180 days for retargeting and for lookalikes. That's just my strategy. That's what just really works best for me. Do you do 1%, 1 to 2, 2 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 10 for all the lookalikes? So I do 1%, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. I start with that in an ABO, and I use that original ABO campaign for testing different audiences, for testing different lookalikes, right? So I'll do like, after that, I'll do like 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10. You can do 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 9, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 0 to 2, 0 to 3, 0 to 4, 0 to 5, 0 to 6, 0 to 7, all the way up to 0 to 9, and 0 to 10. So it says testing different lookalikes. Like I remember for this one product, I was testing 75% lookalikes, and I swear to God, I probably ran through like 25 different lookalikes, and like none stuck for me, none. But once you find that 1 or 2 pockets of lookalikes, dude or guys, that is so beast. Like it performs so well. So it's just testing different lookalikes and those different pockets of audiences. That's what it just really is. But I mean, don't test like 30 the first day unless you have that budget, right? Test like 7 or 8 at a time. If the ones that don't work, turn them off. The ones that are working, put them into a CBO, and then use that original campaign for testing more lookalikes, because that's going to be at an ABO level, like I was saying before. So what's the best for a beginner? One product store or general store? I probably recommend a one product store, maybe a little bit biased, but I love micro branded one product drop shipping. That's primarily all I do. You can even go like a niche route or a general niche route, but it's more time and effort into those kinds of stores. So since you're a beginner, I would pick a flexible domain name. You can use this website called namelix.com or whatever, something that comes on the top of your head. It doesn't even have to be a real word. Like Nike and Adidas aren't real words, right? So don't overthink the domain name. Get a logo, get a Shopify account, make a Facebook business page, Instagram business page, ad account, pixel, Google Analytics, customer support email. Get that all out the way. And just start by a one product store. Have a flexible domain name so you can use that store, that domain name, to test multiple products and filter out multiple products, but still keep it honed down to that one product, still keep it in a one product store structure or format. So that's what I recommend doing if you are a beginner. One product stores all the way. How to stop overthinking? I mean, that's pretty hard. That's okay. Let me rephrase that. That's something that's very prevalent, especially in this space, just let alone being an entrepreneur, an online business owner. And one thing you got to do is just implement action. Just implement action. So it sounds like very simple, but it's like you can watch a ton of YouTube videos and just overthink and talk to yourself like, oh, how am I going to do this? Like, how am I going to go about this? But the best thing to do, guys, is just to implement action. Like, don't overthink too much. As long as you know, like, what you're obtaining in terms of that knowledge or that information is valid and it makes sense, and kind of like what your risk output is, like, just go ahead and execute it. Don't overthink it too much. And you'll get more and more confident. It's just being confident in yourself, in your decisions, in your strategies. Especially from a business perspective. So how to stop procrastination? One thing I like to do is I like to set like tasks, right? Like all my day-to-day tasks. And you probably see a lot of successful people talking about this. And it's because this shit actually works. Like even if you just go on like notes on your phone or Google Calendar, or even if you write it down, whatever you like to do, or write it down in your calendar, maybe in your room or something, set time blocks. Time blocks is very important, 9:30 to 10:30. Wake up, shower, eat breakfast, 10:30 to 11:30, work on product research and validation. Find 20 products, put them into an Excel sheet. 12 to 1, watch some YouTube, eat lunch, read a book. So have time blocks because you will probably hold yourself accountable to completing those tasks on time. So that's how you stop procrastination. Is eating healthy, getting good sleep, so you're focused, making sure your work environment is not having a lot of distractions in it. Focus is the number one main thing, and being organized and knowing what to do. So accountability is very important. Hold yourself responsible and accountable for every freaking damn thing. Okay, everything. Obviously, luck does play a little bit of a side. Sometimes, you'll come across things that are unfortunate or that are just super sucky, but shit like that happens. So that's how you stop procrastination. Set mini goals for yourself, right? Set micro goals, I would say. You don't have to change overnight. You're not going to go from procrastinating and working 30 minutes a day to not procrastinating and working 8 to 9 hours a day. It just doesn't work like that. So reward yourself, reward yourself every few days after you, cross that certain milestone, after you, accomplish a certain goal. So rewarding yourself is also very important to continuously motivate yourself. Sorry for an unorthodox question. It's all good, bro. When did you get your breakthrough in this business, and what do you feel has changed in your life? Also, please talk about the kind of mindset one needs to have. So that's a good question. I mean, I'm gonna try to answer that and take not too much of your guys' time, but I do want to make a full video about this very soon. I would say, like, kind of my dropshipping success story. And just everything that I went through. So I kind of found my breakthrough point was like probably a year and a half into dropshipping. And that's kind of like my first successful month I had with dropshipping. And it's changed my life. I mean, yeah, it's cliche to say, but it's definitely has made me a better person, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, physically, like in every way, because your lifestyle has a direct correlation to how much success you're going to find in your business. And I'm still not where I want to be. I'm like here, and I want to be here. And I'm obviously still improving on myself every single day. But again, I do want to just keep a separate video for that. So yeah, I mean, my lifestyle has changed a lot, just how I view things, how I spend money, how I value money. Money is primarily a tool, right? Money is a tool. Money makes money. It's how you're really leveraging your money, So mindset, perseverance, guys. This is not easy. This is 0.1% shit. You want to make money on a laptop, traveling wherever the fuck you want at any time, not having a boss, not telling you what to do. This is 0.1% shit, guys. So you got to put in the effort and time and energy and commitment that the 0.1% of people who are successful are putting in. You have to do what the majority of people aren't doing. So that's just kind of mindset. And just always be obsessed to learning, guys. Always invest into yourself, know where your weaknesses are, and build upon them, okay? So I will make a separate video for that, but I do appreciate you asking that. I mean, that's something I'm very passionate about, obviously, because like it relates to me, but I do want to share that with you guys. So I will be making a video in the coming few weeks. So yeah. What's better for one product branded store? Twitter, Instagram for influencer marketing. So Twitter is really good too, but it depends on the nature of the product. Usually on Twitter with Twitter influencers, lower ticket items perform well. I have never really done Twitter. I think I've done Twitter just twice. I usually do influencer marketing. Influencer marketing on Instagram and Facebook ads are my bread and butter. I actually started out with influencer marketing 3.5 years ago, and then I soon transitioned into paid marketing platforms such as Facebook and whatnot. So I think influencers have a lot of potential. I do know a lot of people killing it on Twitter and TikTok, Pinterest, Etsy. But in terms of like influencers, yeah, all of them have potential. It depends on your product and where your potential customer is, right? Knowing your audience persona and then your buyer persona, and then basically partnering up with the right influencer. That's what kind of really matters. So Will dropshipping ever die? No. Dropshipping is a business model. A model really never dies per se, but as the consumer market evolves, as the social media platforms evolve, we as e-commerce entrepreneurs, we as e-commerce business owners also have to adapt and pivot to that. So what used to work before may not work now, or if it still does, it works a little bit differently. What used to work or what works now may not work in 2 years, but it may work, or it may work a little bit differently, if that makes sense. So you always have to adapt and pivot. I don't think it will die. I think things will be definitely focused around branding a lot. That's why I preach a lot of micro branding. So it's the survival of the fittest, right? Those who fail to adapt will die, will not find success. Advice on an influencer marketing on a beauty product. What do you look for in the influencer? How do you validate them, and how do you get them to reply to you? So I have videos on all of these, my man, like how to have a good outreach script to an influencer. I actually give my exact outreach script, but I recommend always DMing. Just some helpful tips really quick. I recommend DMing and emailing the influencer to make sure that you increase your chances of you hearing out for them. Influencer is purely a numbers game, right? The more you reach out, the more you contact, there's more of a chance that you'll find one. If you contact 50, you'll probably hear from like 30, and 10 of them will probably have a ridiculous price, probably out of your budget. And then probably a few of them will have a good audience, a good fit for your product. I always like to ask for like their audience analytics. And I always like to look for the age, gender, and country of their audience. I also like to look at where they have their most reach. Do they have more reach on their story? Do they have more reach on their feed? What times do they really get the most engagement? So, go within that kind of realm and contact the influencer and ask for these pieces of information. They're almost obligated to, because that's their job, and they will know what you're talking about. So ask for their audience analytics to ensure, or to really maximize the potential of that product performing well on that page, okay? And now for a beauty product, there's personal influencers and niche pages. Personal influencers are influencer pages that have a personal brand, that have a face behind that profile. Those are very much powerful. They are a little bit on the higher end in terms of price. And then you also have like meme pages, niche pages, theme pages, which can also work for a beauty product, especially when it's a product that has to do with women specifically. Women do browse on social media more, usually statistically proven, and they're also very aggressive and dominated buyers. So, but all in all, that's kind of my input on influencer marketing. Again, I have videos on all of those things. Like I show you my winning ad copies or my winning campaign shout outs. I show you my outreach. I show you how to find influencers. These are all different videos. I think there's 3 separate videos for each of those topics, but they're all on my channel. So I would definitely recommend go ahead and watching them. How do you choose one product store name? Use the product's name to be the domain or any name. Yeah, so like I said, like Nike and Adidas aren't real names. You don't have to keep it a real name, especially when you haven't really validated the product. You want some sort of proof of concept before you do like otterbox.com, or for example, like probably stupid, waterbottle.com, so I use this website called Namelix, Name, Licks, Lix.com. Basically uses AI or artificial intelligence to come with domain names, and it makes the process very easier. You want to basically have a domain name that sounds branded, that invokes some sort of curiosity, right? You don't want a boring domain name either. So that's how I do it, and I keep the domain name pretty flexible, so you can test multiple products. If product A doesn't work, guess what? You can move on to product B. Still keep that domain, still keep that store, still keep that logo, still keep the social medias. If that doesn't work, move on to product C, right? Once you have that winning product, you can continue honestly scaling it on that one product store with that domain name, or you can move it on to a more branded store with that domain name being the name of that product or very relevant to that product per se, right? And change the logo up and stuff. But initially, yeah, you can have that domain name to be pretty flexible, so it works with any product in any niche. Have you tried TikTok ads? Not really. I know I made a video about it like a few months ago, and then I never made a follow-up. People were like, yo, where's part two? Where's part two of you actually setting up the platform and setting up all these ads and stuff? But no, I have not. I have tried a few TikTok influencers. So they've been pretty well, or they've gone pretty well. How do you set up a US LLC when you live outside the US? And then I will be able to use Stripe. It depends where you live. I don't want to give any legal advice. I recommend consulting or setting up a meeting. So yeah, consulting an accountant or a CPA or a bookkeeper. You know, I don't want to give any wrong legal advice on that. But I do know people who set up LLCs in the US. One of my clients just asked me about that. And I actually referred him to one of my good buddies who does e-commerce and is absolutely killing it. That's favorably in the same country as my clients. So I don't want to give advice on something I don't know of completely. If you're in the US and if you have like legal or like if you want like legal advice or tax advice, then I can definitely give you some of that. What is the max repetition to reach on targeting to not being seen as a spam? I mean, that's why you're using different audiences, right? Like different lookalikes, like 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. More than likely, like you will come across multiple touches with your customers. I mean, that's the main point. Facebook will know, how to filter out your ads to different groups of audiences. I really wouldn't worry about that too much. Will you have a video for retargeting or lookalike audiences on how to? Yes, I will. That is like more of an advanced Facebook scaling strategies. Definitely, I want to put out soon. I just got to figure out on how to do it the best way possible so it makes sense for you guys. So yes, that is something I'm working on too, along with my Shopify or my dropshipping or e-commerce success story. Those are 2 videos that are definitely in my pipeline. Which theme do you recommend for a branded knit store? I would say District, Prestige, Turbo, Booster, Motion. Those are all really, really good themes. What different email flows do you set up? I set up 3 different abandonment cart email sequences, one at 2 hours, one at 10 hours, one at 24 hours. And I also have some post-purchase email sequences set up through Klaviyo. I think I have 3 or 4 set up. So, but definitely those abandonment cart email sequences, because you want to maximize that back-end revenue too. Try and reel those customers who didn't purchase back into your store. Is there really a correct Facebook ad strategy right now? There's no right or wrong. I have a full A to Z blueprint on how to test and launch your ads utilizing Facebook. I would definitely check that video out. I think I put it on the channel a month or 2 ago. Every strategy is a little bit differently. After consulting, a lot of people are doing 7, 8 figures who have spent 7 figures on ad spend like myself. But the principle is the same. The principle is the same at the end of the day. That's what I kind of really realized. Tips on copywriting: just practice it and just get better at it. Implement your own feedback into action. See what's working, see what's not. Understand why it's not working, right? Not only understanding the how behind each component, but understanding the why is very important. How many income streams do you have or hope to have? So YouTube, which is not too large, but YouTube as my channel is monetized. You've probably seen ads. So I appreciate you watching those ads, but YouTube, my agency, I do have a digital marketing agency. Currently 2 Shopify stores. I usually have 1 or 2 Shopify stores running at all times. What else? Consulting and coaching, which I count as 1. And then also affiliate marketing, so 5. And then I do a little bit of like crypto and stocks and trading, which is not too consistent, so kind of 6. Next year I'll probably get into real estate, so it'll probably be 6 or probably like 7 streams of income. My goal is probably to not be too diversified. Like I'd rather have 3 or 4 solid streams of income than having like 14 okay streams of income, so that way I'm not spreading myself out too thin and I'm putting my time and energy into the right things. But at the end of the day, it's all about like making your money work for you and having automation and different systems set up so you're working not so much in those income streams or in those businesses, but on those businesses, right? So yeah. Cool, guys. I'm going to be on here for a few more minutes. Get these last questions out the way. I had a bunch of these questions from like the first live, but it's all good. I appreciate you guys asking some banging ass questions. I mean, these were all great questions, guys. Thanks so much. For retargeting or lookalike, so much should I spend per ad? I usually start with an ABO campaign at $7 per day ad sets. You don't have to have this is kind of weird. Like when you're retargeting and lookalike, like your budget per ad set can be a little bit lower than compared to like a cold interest campaign at an ABO level. So you can start out with like $5 or $7 ad sets when you're doing retargeting or like lookalike in an ABO campaign. What is your thought on the painting niche? I mean, yeah, painting is good. Arts and crafts are good. A huge market for it. So yeah, it definitely has potential. Very competitive, but I think there's that factor of just having that unique product, you know, that can be appealed to a mass majority of people. So have your CPMs also gone a lot lately? And is there a difference in CPMs between now and age ad accounts? Age ad accounts do have a little bit lower CPMs, but I do see even right now a lot of people who have age ad accounts who have higher CPMs. For me, luckily, and I answered this before, my CPMs have been okay. Nothing like over 35, 40 bucks, which is still a little bit on the high end, but nothing like 50, $60 CPMs. I know someone like hit me up on IG and like they had 9 ad sets running and like their average CPM was like 85 bucks. I was like, holy shit. But I mean, I don't know, they could be doing something totally wrong in terms of their targeting or their ad. But yeah, age ad accounts typically do have lower CPMs. That's kind of what what Facebook just deems. CPMs are very hard to control, but hopefully after the election, things will calm down a little bit. So just fingers crossed. One thing I do recommend helping with CPMs is in English, make sure you do English all. You only want to cater to English speaking people. And when you do your interest or when you input your custom audience, whatever it really may be, this goes for both, always exclude by AliExpress and dropshipping. So if you have an interest called dog lovers, make sure you exclude that interest with AliExpress or by AliExpress and dog lovers. You'll see your potential reach or your audience size usually go down by a few million. Also do automatic placements instead of manual placements, because manual placements typically like Instagram feed, Facebook feed, and Instagram story, they have a lot of competition right now. The bidding wars are very high right now, especially as we're getting into the heart of Q4. So do automatic placements. So do that. Do English as a language and exclude by AliExpress and dropshipping. I also recommend every time you launch a new ad set or new campaign, make sure you launch it at 12 a.m. so it has the whole data spend and it optimizes properly. Because if it launches at 6 a.m., then it's missing all those buyers, that huge window of buyers from 12 to 6 a.m. So always launch it at 12 a.m. so it also optimizes properly. Can you run Halloween sales even if your product isn't related to Halloween? No, I would just call it like Christmas sale or holiday sale or end of year sale, because it's not really relevant. So no, I wouldn't really be doing that. $5 a day for first testing phase on low ticket product. I would do like $7 or $10. I think I mentioned this before, just because the bidding wars are super high and you want to basically be above those kind of lower range of spenders. So do $7 if your budget is lower, especially for ad set budgets, and do like $75 instead of $50 if you're doing CBO. So yeah, my average CPMs in April were 7. Yeah, and from March to June, like, and even July, CPMs, like I was seeing between like 5 to 15 bucks. I mean, it was absolutely great. And even now, like $30 is not too bad. Like 15, 20, 30 bucks is not too bad. So, it's okay. I don't think that's anything crazy. What is your ideal audience size when testing? I would say between 5 and 75 million, 5 to 90 million. Sometimes I go over 100 million. So it's not like a make or break rule, but usually between 5 to 75 million. Which app do you recommend for multiple pixels? I would recommend an app called Trackify. It's also good to back up your pixels and whatnot. What is the profitability of a winning product in the first few days? Do you normally only break even for the first few days? It really depends. I've had winning products, and I actually made a video about this, Emilio. Definitely check out my last video. I think it will really help to that question. It'll go into some more deeper information. But I've had products be profitable from day one and be still profitable on day 50, day 60. Sometimes you'll break even the first few days, which you want to be breaking even. And then it'll be probably profitable on day 3, 4, 5, or 6. So yeah, that's kind of the characteristics of a winning product, assuming you have everything set up right. Does putting perfect Christmas gift or something like that in your ad copy help a lot? Yeah, you can. You can put like perfect Christmas gift, perfect Christmas light. Sometimes I'll put something like more specific related to that product, like perfect water bottle, So yeah, that does help, or that's not a bad thing to do, I would say. Should I test the ponytail beanie? That was my first winning product, that ponytail beanie. I actually made a whole video about it, and I talk about it very briefly in my last video. So yeah, you can go ahead and test it, but I think it's a little bit saturated. I think it's available in a lot of retail stores. So I think there's better products out there, better seasonal and winter products out there. Ideal audience size, and this is going to be the last question, guys. I do have to run. What do you think before stack up interest and a single interest? So I do recommend stack targeting interest if the interest is very similar. So if it's like Sephora, the makeup brand, you can stack it with MAC Cosmetics because they have a very, very, very similar audience size, right? So you can typically do that. And if your audience size is lower than 5 million, then you can go ahead and stack that interest. But it has to be very similar or very alike. So usually like more than 70 or 80% of the time, I only have one interest per ad set. But stacking is not a bad idea. If that other ad set or if that other interest, I would say, is very similar to that first one. I usually don't stack more than 4 or 5 interests if needed in one ad set. And obviously, again, I'm going to say this, make sure they're very similar, across all of the interests that you have in that ad set. How do you back up a pixel? Like I said, I recommend having an app called Trackify. And I'm going to take this last question, guys. Once again, I do appreciate all of you guys coming on. But this last question is, please talk about a little on cash flow for those of us who are not eligible for Shopify or PayPal Capital. So if you're not eligible for like a loan or getting money from another borrower, on another loaner, I would recommend just having anything that produces cash flow. Like I think you said that you found a winning product and it wasn't profitable for you. So I recommend just having like a job, even a part-time job, or doing like gigs on Fiverr or Upwork or anything, right? Like anything that's going to give you some disposable income and invested back into your business, because that's a problem that a lot of people have, running out of cash flow. So really anything that can fund your business and give you a little bit of disposable income. I mean, it can be anything. There's no wrong way of making money unless it's like illegal, obviously. So and last but not least, best landing page builder, I would say besides Shopify, I would say Gem Pages or Shogun, because they directly correlate and link into Shopify. And then you can knock yourself out and use ClickFunnels too. But I think Shogun and Gem Pages are kind of one of my 2 favorites to utilize. I don't utilize them often. Once you have like a banging winning product, you can go ahead and use those to really kind of transition your product pages into like a single funnel, make things more cleaner, more optimized. But other than that, I just typically stick to my Shopify landing page because I do usually do like one product stores. So yeah, guys, that's that. That was a lot of questions, which I do appreciate. I love questions. I think we covered like a lot of things, from like landing pages to ads to influencers to cash flow to mindset to questions about me. So I appreciate you guys coming out. Again, I had these bunch of questions from the last Q&A, but it's okay. I didn't really get to them. A lot of these questions probably overlapped. Someone say make a video on a high converting landing page. Or high converting product page. So I do have a video on that showcasing one of my old products. But it may be a little bit past dated. So I will make an updated one, 100%. Thank you for suggesting that. But yeah, guys, for all of you guys, good luck. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this Q4 Q&A. And I hope all of you guys kill Q4 and onwards, 2021. There's a lot of potential to make money. And join my Facebook group. Link will be in the description. Ecom Masterminds. Follow me on Instagram. Link will be in the description. Check out Ecom Creations. Use my code 10% off. Link to that will be in the description as well. So check out everything in the description. I have a lot of helpful, resources and tools for you guys. So check all that good stuff out. And yeah, thanks guys so much for tuning in. I wish you all much success and keep dominating Q4 and beyond and keep pushing through, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. Oh, shit.